Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're out the range to do a little bit of testing and show you something that I found to be interesting which recently happened. Copper Custom got a phone call from a local police department and they are looking at replacing their current weapon systems for their SWAT teams with new rifles and a new caliber. They're looking at something like the 300 Blackout and even the 45 ACP because they're looking for something that had a very mild flash signature. They're concerned about going into meth labs or places where they cook illegal drugs and firing their weapons and hitting those combustible materials with the muzzle flash, igniting it and causing a big mess. So they were looking at, various pistol caliber carbines and all the way up to 300 Blackout. Well, they had ruled out 45 ACP because it was unable to penetrate level 2 body armor, soft armor. So now they were looking at 300 Blackout. We came out to show them several different rifle variations and we did some testing with them. In that testing, I learned something, and that's something that I learned I want to share with you guys. So the question that they had was, will a subsonic 300 Blackout defeat level 2 body armor, soft armor, or will it require a supersonic 300 Blackout to defeat that body armor? So that's what we're going to show you in the video this afternoon. We brought out, first of all, this BCM. This is my SBR. This one's in 300 Blackout, has a 9-inch barrel. On the end of it, we have an Omega 9K suppressor. On top, we have a Trigicon LED ACOG. It's a 4x42 ACOG. And we're going to use this for our testing rifle. This is the actual rifle we used in the tests with the police department. And down here, we have this CMMG Guard, or is it the Guardian? And this is a 45 ACP AR-15 based platform. On the end of it, we have the Omega 45K suppressor. This is the S&B tactical brace, and then on top of it we have a Trigicon MRO with the Midwest Industries mount. So we are going to fire the 45 ACP into the body armor just to show you that it does not defeat the body armor, and then we're going to step it up to some of the test ammo that we used while out doing the testing and evaluation with the police department. This is one of the rounds we tested. This is a subsonic S&B 200 grain projectile that's moving slower than the speed of sound. All right, we're going to fire this into the body armor, but we're going to start off with the 45 ACP, and this is just a standard 230 grain ball round, and this stuff is fairly warm. It's made by Freedom Munitions. It's their newly manufactured stuff. We use it here on the channel all the time. We're going to fire the 45 ACP into our test system down there, and then we're going to set up this little test system with the 300 Blackout and run the same test and show you what you can expect if you use a subsonic 300 Blackout against 2A body armor. I'm sorry, 2 body armor. I keep putting an A in there. It's just level 2 body armor. All right, let's run down range and show you how I have things set up down there, then come back and start testing. I'll try to be brief here, guys. If you would like to support us at the Military Arms Channel, the best possible way to do that is to swing by and become a Patreon supporter. YouTube hates us. They hate gun content, they hate conservative speech, they hate, I don't know, they probably hate themselves. But they're constantly taking away our money through demonetization, and they're always threatening to kick us off their platform. We're getting ready to go through a new policy change. So if you'd like to support us, please consider going by patreon.com/militaryarms. There is a link down below, and becoming a Patreon supporter. We also give away free ammunition, thanks to our friends over at Freedom Munitions. We give away free t-shirts every month, thanks to our friends over at forgedfromfreedom.com, which you can also swing by, and if you're a patron subscriber, you can get a discount on Forged from Freedom shirts. We have all sorts of cool shirts over there that are the map collection. So please consider swinging by, supporting us at Patreon, and also, guys, support other gun channels that you find over on patreon.com, because they're all suffering the same fate with YouTube cracking down on us monetarily and through new policies. And also, guys, really quick, swing by and check out full30.com. Everybody that's being displaced and being harassed over on YouTube in the gun tube sphere is moving over to full30.com. That's our lifeboat. Swing by full30.com, check it out. It's where freedom rings. You're going to find most of your top firearm content creators already over there waiting for you guys. Here's our test setup. We have level 2 body armor, and we have it setting up against some clay that we pick up at Hobby Lobby, guys. This is just a regular old hard clay. It's still pliable. Keep it in the plastic bag like we do, and it keeps it from drying out. We keep some of it at the shop. It's good for showing back face deformation. Keep in mind, soft armor, when a round hits it, it will deface on the back side of the armor. It's called back face deformation. FBI tells us that if you get 2 inches or more of back face deformation, that alone can be lethal, even if the bullet doesn't penetrate the armor. If it goes 2 inches out on the back side, as it's capturing that bullet and that hits you in the chest, it can cause lethal consequences. So we're just going to use this catch block here to show you what the back face deformation is on the 45 ACP 230 grain ball round that we will be firing out of an 8-inch barrel of the CMMG carbine. So let's head back now and take a shot at this little Sharpie mark, which should be pretty close to center on that clay block. Here we go. We have a 230 grain ball round from Freedom Munitions loaded into the CMMG guard. And now we're going to take a shot from 10 yards into the body armor, level 2, to see what happens. All right, let's run down range and see what we got. We did confirm 0 on the CMMG guard. I was aiming at these bolts and it was about 1 inch low. So when I set up my shot over here, I forgot to aim 1 inch high. So I think we hit just a little bit low. All right, so here's what we got. We can move our weights out of the way. Here's the body armor. So you can see it hit exactly 1 inch low, but it's still, the bullet is right there, easily stopped by the body armor. I mean, it's just under the outer layer. So there's the 45 ACP slug. Back face deformation, minimal. Oops, sorry, there we go. I was gonna say, that didn't look right. There you go, so back face deformation to the first knuckle on my finger. So if you got hit in the chest, that's gonna leave an owie. That's just from the energy transfer. So there we go. 45 ACP was easily defeated by the 2 body armor, level 2 body armor, which is expected. Even though it's a ball round, you can see it mushroomed pretty nicely. But now let's see what happens when we do the same test using the same armor, using a Subsonic 300 blackout. All right, we've reset the test, and now we have the same body armor. We have an unused area of armor here. We have our weights holding it in place. This is right where the clay block is. If you look around on this side, you can see where we have the block set up. We still have a bit of a cavity here, but it's flat-faced on the side that's facing the rifle at the moment. And back here, we have a man-size challenge target that's steel. Why is he there? Well, should the 300 blackout Subsonic make it through the armor, make it through the clay, that's our backstop. We want to see if it makes it there. Now, if it does make it through, I fully expect the bullet to be unstable, and it may hit the target sideways, and it may go right through this table, which would not make my wife happy. I think that'd be the 3rd or 4th table I've destroyed. So anyway, let's go find out if I'm going to live through the evening or not by destroying another one of my wife's tables. But first, let's put a dot right in the middle. All right, there's going to be my aiming point. Now we have the BCM set up with the 300 blackout. We are shooting the 200 grain S&B Subsonic. Again, this is the exact same ammunition that we used in the weapons demo with the police department. And here we go. Let's see what happens. I heard a ring. Let's run down range and see what happens. Man, it didn't even move that body armor. I see a hole. Let's go check this out. Obviously, I already know the outcome of this test because I performed it the other day with the police department. But guys, check this out. You might find this interesting. So here's our 2A body panel. This is my point of aim, about exactly 1 inch low. And you can see it punched right through. It didn't move anything on the table, unlike the 45 ACP, which knocked everything over. So I'm gonna take the weights away. And nice clean exit hole. Nice clean entry hole, about the size of my index finger. On the back side of the clay, now we have that cavity from the 45 ACP, but you can see right in the middle of that where the 300 blackout just zipped right through the clay block, and the bullet came back and hit the steel plate. Now take a look at the shape of that, and take a look at the shape of the bullet that we fired. The bullet was tumbling in flight. It hit the plate sideways, and on the ground we were able to recover the jacket. Couldn't find the lead, but we found the jacket of the 300 blackout round fired. So it hit sideways, disintegrated. I don't know where the lead core went, but we had jacket separation. So the 300 blackout S&B ammunition is capable of cleanly defeating level 2 body armor, and in my opinion, being lethal once it makes its way through. So, a test we didn't do is what happens if you use a Subsonic 194 grain maximum expansion, moving at 1,000 feet per second, Lehigh Defense 300 blackout. You've seen us play with this stuff here before on the channel. I think I even went down and shot some of this stuff with Eric at Iraq Veterans, and I want to know what an expanding bullet does when it hits 2 body armor and clay, and see if it too will make it to the steel target. Who knows? Let's find out. All right, guys, so now we have the 194 grain Lehigh Defense maximum expansion subsonic load loaded, and let's see what it does to the body armor. Wow. Okay, that made some stuff move. Let's run down range. Well, guys, as I said, from down range, some stuff went flying when that 194 grain bullet hit that body armor. So I did try to pack the clay back together. This is the side of the clay that we had previously shot the Subsonic 300 blackout round through that made it through the body armor. So I kind of pushed it back together. We only had a pinhole really here that was about the size of my knuckle. So you can see that the temporary cavity, in my opinion, is smaller than the original 45 ACP cavity. That cavity I wasn't able to completely close by squeezing the block, but you can see it here on the back. So you can see where that's where the old 300 blackout round hole was that came through. I squished this down, so this is smaller than it was originally, but it looks like, first of all, we definitely stopped the 194 grain projectile. It doesn't look like the cavity is any larger than the 45 ACPs, perhaps a little bit smaller. And here we have the bullet. You can see it just underneath the fabric. The nose of it expanded. That Kevlar is some tough stuff. The nose of the bullet expanded a little bit. You can see it intertwine with, there we go, with the Kevlar. And there you have it, guys. That is what happened. It didn't really expand, it just kind of curved. You can see the riflings on the bullet, but it most definitely did not make it through the soft armor. Ripped the back, but definitely did not rip the Kevlar. So it did about the same as the 45 ACP in terms of penetration, but it looks like the 45 ACP left more of a hole or cavity in the clay block. Not scientific, but interesting nonetheless. The bullet's still warm. That's cool. I hope you guys found this video to be fun and informative. It was certainly a lot of fun shooting the video this afternoon for you guys. So what did we learn? Well, the 45 ACP doesn't defeat level 2 body armor. No surprise there, because it is designed to defeat 45 ACP amongst other things, 357 Magnum and all sorts of other calibers. But what was interesting is it never even made it into the Kevlar. It just barely made it underneath this really thin protective skin that's over the Kevlar. Next, we fired the Subsonic 200 grain S&B round, and it punched right through this 2 body armor like it wasn't even there. It went through it went through the clay that was behind it and hit the challenge target and just exploded. It hit sideways. It was keyholing at that point. The bullet was tumbling in flight, and all we could recover were these pieces of its jacket. And then finally, we brought out the 194 grain Lehigh round, which is subsonic, and yeah, gave us pretty interesting performance. It, much like its 45 ACP bigger brother, didn't make it through the Kevlar, was stuck in the Kevlar. You can see bits of it in the tip of the bullet. It didn't expand much, but it certainly didn't make it through the Kevlar. The only round to make it through was the Subsonic 200 grain S&B round. So yeah, there you guys go. Pretty interesting results. So if you work on a police department, if your department's looking at 300 blackout as a possible caliber, you will now know that Subsonic 300 blackouts out of standard pistol length barrels is actually capable of defeating level 2 body armor. Now, we've not tested it against level 3A, which is a higher rating, and maybe we'll do that in a future video. But we do hope you guys enjoy these types of videos. If you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms channel, a great way to do that is to swing by, check us out at Copper Custom, which is coppercustom.com. Also, we've been on YouTube now for 10 years, but YouTube is really cracking the whip on us. We're starting to see channels like the Small Arms Solutions channel getting punted. James Yeager got punted but let back on, but we have these new YouTube policies that are coming down which specifically deal with firearms content, and we don't know what to expect, but we do have Full 30. It's been up and running for 4 years. You're going to find a lot of your favorite content creators already over there, so please swing by and check us out at full30.com. That's where freedom rings. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for all those years of support, and we'll talk to you guys soon.